y'all, Dixie here with Wander Mama to answer some questions that y'all had for her. If y'all missed it, this summer my mom hiked on the PCT with me to fill in fire closure areas that I had when I was through hiking in 2017. And because it was her first time backpacking and she turned 60 while she was out there this summer, I know some of y'all had questions for her and said, hey, you should do a Q&A with your mom so that we can ask her some questions. So y'all asked, and here we are. Before we get started on the questions that y'all had, I want to ask, what was your first thought when I said I was going to through hike the Appalachian Trail? I know that that's not about this trip, but like,
well, that's what started it all.
Yeah, that's what started it all. So,
I thought, what is she thinking of? But I knew it was something that you had wanted to do when you were little, and I guess I really was thinking, maybe this will pass.
Yeah.
She won't really go and do it. But I should have known better, because you're very stubborn and headstrong, and once you get an idea in your head, you're going to see it through. So.
And I wonder where I get that from. So then when I started the Pacific Crest Trail, was it a little bit better after you realized, okay, she didn't die on the AT?
Yes, it was better.
And then with the CDT,
it was just like, oh, here we go again.
This is what she does. Now, some folks don't know exactly how you ended up coming out with me this summer, and they wanted to know, did I ask you to go and you agreed, or did you say you wanted to go, or how did that kind of come to be?
Well, it was kind of crazy, because I think what really happened was you said something about when you were going, you were going in the summer. And since I work at school and I have the summers off, I just kind of jokingly said, oh, I can go with you.
I'm pretty sure I remember that day I was in Colorado on the CDT, and I had called you because I wanted to go up Mount Elbert, but I wasn't sure if I should or not, and we were having a conversation. And then, yeah, I said something about going to the PCT, and then that's when, yeah.
Yes.
So then I was like, oh, good, yes, that'd be great.
And then I went,
oh, crap.
What did I just get myself into? Because then I knew, like I said, once you get an idea in your head, that's it.
That's it. It's there. Yeah.
So there was no, are you really serious about going,
Yeah,
Mom?
you mentioned it.
And no, you just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, well.
And that's what you did.
Well, it worked out. So.
Yeah, it did, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
So the first question is, what did your mom do to get in shape for the trail? Did she feel it was enough once she was on the trail?
Well, I work at a high school, so I walked the bleachers up and down, and I also walked out on the track as much as possible and around the neighborhood.
I mean, she was kicking my butt going up like the first climbs that we had in the desert in that first stretch. I was like, oh, I'm about to wear out. And I was like, I can't let my mom not wear out before me. I'm like, oh, Fancy needs a break. But no, I feel like whatever you did, you were in pretty good shape.
To be honest with you, my legs were not burning or anything.
It was just breathing, you said. I remember.
Yes, the breathing was the worst.
So do you think elevation. That, being at a little bit of a higher elevation?
That's the only thing that I feel that I really wasn't prepared enough for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for that, you need to like run or swim or.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Next question is, do you feel healthier / more fit than when you started? How has this changed you?
Absolutely. I do feel more fit. I actually lost about 13 pounds. No, that's not true. I lost about 11 pounds while I was out there. I have made sure that I've been eating more healthy since we've been home, and
because we ate like garbage on trail.
we did. I feel like I have to do something, to some kind of exercise every day, which I'm going to be walking a lot with Fancy after you leave again. I wish that I had lost the 10 or 11 pounds before I went on the trail, because I know I would have felt much better beginning.
Has it changed you, or changes you've noticed in yourself? Have you noticed anything like you want to get rid of things more, or I'm just curious at what point that happens. I know for me, after being gone for 6 months, I just wanted to throw away everything I had. And I know other people have said they feel like that, but just for, you know, a month and a half of actual hiking, did that happen to you at all, or are you still?
Well, yes, mentally, but physically it's not there.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I'm trying to get back into going, back to work, because as soon as we got back, I mean, within a week I was going back to work.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm about to the point where I want to do this and
throw everything away.
Yeah.
I think for me anyway, when I carried everything I needed for a certain period in my pack and walked, it was just like, why would I want anything else if everything I need is in here? With us, we did have a vehicle with a bunch of stuff in it, though.
Yes,
so
we had our bag of clothing for when we go to town, and
yeah, we were spoiled. Mom, did going on trail with Dixie change your perspective on what she does for a living? Do you feel more comfortable about her being on trail on her own now that you've seen her skill set in person?
Yes, it has changed my perspective, because even though I would see how hard she works here at home in preparing for videos and answering questions and everything that she does at home, now I see how hard she really does work out on trail.
Oh,
what was the second part of that?
Oh, do you feel more comfortable with me being out like by myself?
Yes, I do feel more comfortable about you being out by yourself. I still prefer that you were with someone.
Yeah.
And, I guess you got the option of actually being right with them, or, walking ahead or behind a little bit if you need a little time.
Just if somebody is around to look
right,
at. Like me and Perk hike alone together. Yeah.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah.
And I understand that more now that I've actually been out there with you,
Because we were together most of the time, but there were times where there was space in between us and we couldn't exactly see each other or whatever.
Right.
And I'm sure you could see in a 6-month period how
you would need that space every now and then.
And I would say, as far as the work thing goes, it is work, but it feels like, I don't know, like you just
enjoyment.
Like you just gotta get the spider. If the spider looks cool, you just gotta get the spider.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I would see you go, and I'm like, okay, here she goes. And it could be anything from a spider, a beetle, a slug.
That was cool though.
That
the
was
slug
amazing.
Eating some whatever.
You didn't lose
was.
that one though.
No, that one. No, I didn't lose that one.
That was so amazing.
That one was cool.
And there were things that, because I know how you are, and how you've always been, but I would see some things and I would go, oh, I bet she would like that. And I would bring your attention to it.
Yeah. I'd be like, good eye, Mom, good eye. And then.
Yeah. And then there were things, many times, though, for me, that I would go on past stuff and then I would turn around and be like, where's she at? And then she's down on the ground,
Yeah.
filming something. And I go, oh, well, she's going to run and go, Mom, look what I got.
Oh, man. Yeah. Except the time that I got behind and I had impaled myself. That's gone. But, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Y'all miss that because that's gone to Neverland. Never Dataland.
Don't be negative.
Okay.
You can be realistic, but don't just be.
So, it's probably gone to Neverland. But I was walking and I tripped over a step up and I had my trekking poles tucked under my arm, and when I went to reach out, the trekking poles came forward and hit the ground, the pole side first, and then jabbed, like impaled me, but it didn't go through. But
well, it did break the skin.
It went into the skin, but it didn't like come out my back or anything. But so I learned, and Mom learned a very valuable lesson not to hike with your trekking poles under your arm.
And I had to keep reminding you too, because you were in such a bad habit of that.
It becomes a habit. Yeah.
And Fancy was with you when that happened.
Yeah, because she was kind of pulling, and I tripped on the step.
I heard you make this weird sound that or something like that, and I heard a thud, and I turn around and you're on the ground, and you weren't getting up.
Well,
So-
because I was like taking a couple of seconds to go, is this trekking pole sticking through my back, or is it not? Is it, I mean, it was just like, I just needed a moment to
And I remember
process
yelling
that and
back to
think of it.
you, "Are you okay?" And what you,
I
didn't
think
I don't even know what you responded.
I think I said, I'm not sure, I don't know, or something
but
like that.
I knew that just from the look on your face, the response that I got really wasn't one where you weren't sure, whether you were okay or not. So,
So we learned that. We learned that for
Yes.
sure. No trekking poles tucked in the armpit while hiking. Mama D, does a trip like this make you think about bucket list items of your own that you would like to check off? And what moment impacted you the most during this journey? So really kind of 2 in 1. But first things first, the bucket list items. Did this trip make you think of some you'd like to mark off of your own?
Yes. Now that I have been to more states than I have not, I would like to be able to visit the ones that I have not gone to.
What is it, like 27? Is that what we figured out? 26, 27, 28? I don't know.
Somewhere
something
around there, yeah. I think it's like close to 30.
So when we sat down and really added up,
right.
after getting to knock some more off, you're like, hey, I'd like to.
Yes, I would now like to complete that and go to all the states.
What moment impacted you the most during this journey?
Maybe when we first saw Crater Lake,
Yeah,
because that was just, I mean, everything was pretty.
yeah.
Everything was pretty, but you you can see snow on a mountain 10 times, or you can, see a pretty lake, or, a stream or whatever. But I think that the first time we laid eyes on Crater Lake, that was just breathtaking.
Yeah, it was. And knowing that it's like the end, we're right there, like we were at the end. That was the last piece that we had to complete, and then we got to, go home. And it might seem like, why were you excited to go home? But
it was bittersweet.
Yes, yeah.
It really was.
So I reckon this is one for me, but in reference to Mom. So what were the biggest unexpected changes you had to make to have Mom along? We assume you had to plan to travel slower and maybe take more breaks, but what didn't you plan on that you had to deal with? So I don't know that there were any unexpected changes that I really made, but I think that I didn't expect there to be as much snow as there was this year. So, well, I guess then it did cause a change, because I probably would have hiked just starting at the southern end in California and tried to hike all the way north. But because there was a decent amount of snow, we kind of skipped around to make sure that we didn't have to be in a ton of it, because Mom is not experienced in the snow. And honestly, it worked out for the best. It was more enjoyable that way, even for me. But other than the snow, I can't really think of anything that was unexpected that we really changed. And honestly, it made it more enjoyable to not trudge through the snow and just hate life every day. So.
Yeah.
But aren't you glad you got to experience that?
Yes.
And learn a new skill set?
Yes.
In case you ever want to go winter backpacking?
I thought, what could be so bad about snow?
Yeah, you love snow.
Oh, I learned now.
That it's prettier to look at from a distance.
Fancy made it more enjoyable.
Yes, she did,
with
because
all of
she
her
loved it.
escapades.
Yes.
So.
Did your mom hike before you started to?
Yes. Yes. We used to go to North Carolina
On day hikes.
Yes, we would do day hikes.
Never backpacking?
No, never backpacking.
Car camping?
Yes, we did plenty of day hikes.
Would you do it again? So maybe not necessarily this trip, but backpacking in general. Are you now like, hey, I got all this gear and I'm gonna go? Or are you like, never mind, I'm good, I never want to do this again?
No, I want to do it again. But we were kind of on a time frame where we were, I had to get back to school to work, and I didn't want to have to come back and leave you out there and that sort of thing. So I think it would have been more enjoyable if we would not have had to do that.
Right.
So
if you could take a more leisure
yes.
trip. Now, what's your maximum amount of days that you prefer to be out in the woods at one time before getting to town and getting real food and a shower again?
Probably 3 or 4 at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so before we started, she said that she thought she would be interested in through hiking the AT one day. And now,
No.
so do you think
Negative.
that if people start doing section hikes, they'll get a pretty good idea of whether they want
Yes,
to?
yes. If you think you want to through hike a trail, I would definitely recommend section hiking somewhere first, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of what you did and you just threw yourself out there.
Yeah.
And
then out of pure stubbornness.
yes, I was going to say that. Out of pure stubbornness, you were going to finish it.
Yeah.
You know, do or die.
Yeah.
That's just the way you were.
Did you find yourself thinking about any particular foods along the way? Was there anything that you craved a lot while you were on trail that you couldn't wait to get while you were in town?
Yes. That would be steak and salad.
Highfalutin, oh bougie.
Steak and salad.
What's better when you're heading to town? Food or shower first?
Now my opinion on that has changed. When we first started, I felt so grungy and I wanted to shower. I couldn't even really think about eating, smelling and feeling how I did. But as we continued to do that and my hunger became bigger,
Bigger than your care about stink?
yes. So I would definitely choose eating over a shower now first.
Yeah, that's funny. Priorities.
Yes.
What were your luxury items?
Oh, okay. My luxury items were deodorant.
Yes, I told her you're going to want to get rid of the deodorant, and she didn't.
No.
She didn't.
And
It was like a little ball of deodorant, though. It was like a little deodorant ball.
It looks like one of those EOS balls.
Yeah,
but, it
goes in your pits instead of your lips.
Yeah. And it was small, so it didn't really take up a lot of room. And my mascara, my unique mascara. I have to have that because my eyelashes are so blonde that it looks like I don't have any eyelashes.
She's bald on the eyelids.
No, they're there. They're
Yeah.
blonde, and so I don't feel right unless I have my mascara on.
And hit her up on Unique Mills Mom. Is that it?
Yes, on Instagram.
Instagram if you want some unique eyelashes.
Or you can look it up on www.uniqueproducts.com/Rhonda Mills.
Boom. What gear would your mom change and why now that she's had experience? Is there anything she found she particularly needed or that was helpful because of her age or the shape she was in?
Okay, to that I would say I really wouldn't change any of my gear because...
Except your sleeping pad.
Oh, well, I did change that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did not like my sleeping pad because...
well, the first one went flat.
Yeah, the first one went flat, and then the yellow one that you use,
The Neo Air X Lite.
Yeah, it's too. I don't like short.
It was the short.
sleeping pads. I have to.
She
have
also
something,
didn't like how high it was off the ground,
because
right?
I kept falling off of it. Yeah, I don't know.
She fell off the bed. It's really dramatic.
But no, I prefer a longer sleeping pad and one that, yes, is not as thick.
Yeah. So she ended up changing to the Sea to Summit ultralight insulated regular.
Yes.
Yes. It's so long.
It is.
Okay.
It's a very long name.
So anyway, you like that sleeping pad much better.
Yes.
And it was like
did.
16.8 ounces or something like that. 16 point something ounces.
It was so worth carrying the extra weight just so I could sleep more comfortable.
And that's how it is. I mean, somebody can tell you, I like this, this, and this because of this, but you don't know what you like until you try it and whether
Right.
that extra weight is worth it to you. I always say there's a line in like saving weight and then still being comfortable. And there's somewhere where those two things intersect, and that point is different for everybody.
Absolutely. And then also I would say I definitely would not want to hike now without trekking poles because, and when I would hike before and I was much younger, I never thought about trekking poles, or anything
They
like
look
that.
dorky.
Yeah, really.
They do.
But now, definitely, I would not hike without trekking poles. And it just felt uncomfortable trying to hike without them. I got so used to them being there.
And they
saved me.
Yeah.
They saved me many times from falling.
And for downhills, your knees and yeah.
And
That's a good point.
climbing up on, like a rock, big rock, trying to get up on there.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely recommend that for someone that's a little older.
I recommend it for everybody because your body's only going to, stay intact so long, and you got to take care of it. So if you can help protect your knees and just kind of help having that weight on 4 legs rather than just
Right.
2, then why
It
not?
does make a difference.
Which do you like better, deserts or forests, and why?
Oh my gosh. That is a very easy one to answer. I definitely like the forest better.
Hands down, he
Yes.
does.
I did not like the desert because there's nowhere to sit and rest out of the sun. It's like you can't escape the sun. Even if you're out in the sun a little bit and then you go under the trees, it just feels so much cooler and relaxing.
Yes.
And I like the forest. It's, to me, prettier than the desert.
What were you most afraid of / worried about going in, and how did it turn out?
For the desert, I was most afraid of rattlesnakes. And
And she found a couple of them.
yes, because I was going first both times, and
In the first 2 days, wasn't it?
I was scared to death. And in the first one, I didn't see it; I only heard it. But I started backing up.
I was like,
And
get back,
she's
get back, get
going,
back.
back up. And Fancy starts backing up, and I'm about to bowl Fancy over backing up. And then the second one, I did actually see the first one after, it started crawling off. And the second one, as soon as I heard it, I saw it and backed up again too. So it turned out well because we only saw the 2 and we didn't get bit by either of them. So
Yeah, it could have been much worse.
yes.
And then bears and cougars. You said
Yes,
you were worried
and
about.
bears and cougars, I was deathly afraid that we were going to run across them also.
And we didn't.
But we did not. So, and you were hoping we would run across a bear.
I wanted to see a bear. I wanted you to see a bear. I wanted to see you see a bear.
You wanted me to see a bear as bad as I didn't want me to see
I
a
wanted
bear.
you to see I wanted you to become a real thru-hiker and crap your pants.
Well, I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Best 0 day for Mom, where and why?
Ooh, I
have a guess.
yeah, can you joggle my memory on that one?
Ashland, Oregon.
Ashland, what did we do there?
You turned 60 years old there.
Oh.
Look, the amnesia or
the old age is
yeah,
hitting me.
it's setting in. The 60 is setting.
Yes, we had a blast.
That one was pretty good.
Yes.
That was my favorite. 0
Yes,
myself.
it was.
Don't let
It
me
was.
speak for you.
No,
but
that was it. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking.
no. Well, we didn't
But-
have many days
Yes.
off is the thing. We
Well,
were on the go so much.
No, we didn't. We really didn't.
Yeah.
But I know there were some others that I'm sure I enjoyed. But everything kind of runs together. But
Yes.
now that that was definitely my favorite.
I'd like to know if Rhonda had any joint or pain issues prior to the hike, or if she experienced any injuries. Being an older, sorry Rhonda, woman myself, I'd like her to share her story on that.
I was suffering from plantar fasciitis before we went on the trail.
Yes.
And I tried different methods to make it go away, the pain, and nothing was working. So I ended up going to the orthopedic doctor, and I got a cortisone shot in my heel. And
Was it worth it?
yes.
So it didn't feel good when you got it though, right?
No, but it had Novocaine mixed with it. So it was like as soon as the needle went in, and then it just went numb.
Oh.
So I would definitely recommend it. And if I feel it a little bit, but it really did not bother me the whole time we were
2
gone.
months,
I mean, I might could feel it just a tiny bit, but there was really no pain or where I felt like I needed to take any medication.
And she was wearing Ultras with the insoles, Dr. Scholl's for plantar fasciitis. We said we were going to stretch more. We didn't.
We had good
as
intentions,
much,
yes. But it really didn't bother me. And I feel it a little bit since I'm back. But if it starts bothering me bad enough again, I will not hesitate to go and get that shot again.
I just want to say that I heard from the data recovery company about my phone, and they said that they are not going to be able to recover the data. I'm going to send it to another company, but chances are looking pretty slim right now that I will get that data back. So we wanted to go ahead and wrap up the PCT series, if you will, with this Q&A with Mom, and then next week we're gonna finish out with the footage that we have remaining from the PCT fire closure fill-ins this summer. We do have the last section, and there is some other footage that I had that wasn't on my phone, so we'll be putting that out next week, and then we'll start with the Camino. All right, well, that is all we have for y'all today as far as questions. But before we go, is there anything you want to add from your perspective, or anything you learned, et cetera, et cetera?
I've been asked a lot about, am I too old to hike, and, from other people. And I turned 60 on the trail, and no, I do not think, if you don't have any doubts about that, and even if you just section hike. I did notice that there were several people on the trail that were older than I am, and there was the one little man that we saw.
Man.
Well, he was kind of frail looking, and he did fall.
He did.
And he got back up, and he just
that was when we were in the snow. We saw a man that fell down, and then I saw him again later. In another section, so
because we were worried about him.
Yeah, we were really worried. He had a very heavy pack, so I do think that that's something that was helpful to you, is having ultralight. Not all of it. Your base weight wasn't ultralight, but you did have ultralight gear. So having the lightweight pack, making sure that you reduced your pack weight as much as possible, I think was helpful. Because if your pack had been heavier, do you think that it would have?
And especially in the snow.
So you can check out her gear list if you want to see what she carried in the video description. And so in other words, you're saying it doesn't matter what age you are, just get out there.
Just get out there
and just start. I mean, you'll know, listen to your body, take it slow. That's everything I've been saying from the beginning, and folks are like, well, it's easy for you. So thank you for entertaining my shenanigans this summer and for the Q&A.
Always. I've entertained your shenanigans all your life.
Yeah. So what's new? All right. Well, thank y'all very much for joining us for the Q&A, and we will see y'all next time.